Hello, welcome to Centre Sports, a new YouTube channel. We'll be looking at MMA content primarily. If you want, grab a drink, come along, let's review the fights and see what's going on this week, and I'll give you some bets to bet along with. Before we jump right into it, I want to draw your attention to Donald Cerrone popping a splits on top of this beer that I'm going to be drinking this week. It is the Filthy Dirty IPA. It is from Parallel Brewing Company. One that I like to drink. It's from my local liquor store, so I am going to be sipping at it throughout this video. If you have a drink, join in. If not, let's jump right into it. We'll pop this open. Okay, let's get into this. Let me get my book. Hopefully I can pop up right here. This is going to be the bets that I'm running with this week. If you wait till the end of the video, there will be some extra bets that I'll throw in there. But these are the ones that we're going to be following. We don't want too many bets. We want to keep it short and concise, so that going into next week, we build up our bankroll, and we're only picking bets that we're a lot more kind of confident about. This is going to be an exciting card. There's some great fights. If anyone has any thoughts or opinions, either about my YouTube channel or about the fights, feel free to comment below. Hit that subscribe button and a like. This is my very first video, so any kind of help would be appreciated. Let's go. Alright, I have my trusty book here, which I actually have written something for every single fight going on this week, so we can like have a look and see and make a decision what's going on. I want to keep this short and concise. I'm not going to have the most information, but we're going to start with the main event, which is Jack Hermansson versus Sean Strickland. This is a super interesting matchup because Jack Hermansson is more of a Gregorian wrestling type. Sean Strickland will piece you up from afar. He throws his jab, and then he'll either get you to back away from that, and then he'll start throwing his right, or if you start coming into him, he'll just keep jabbing you. This fight's going to come down to be honest, whether Jack Hermansson can take down Sean Strickland. Well, if we look at it, realistically, Hermansson actually only has a 30% takedown accuracy. Sean Strickland has an over 80% takedown defense. So I think he's going to struggle there. There is possibility that he is able to do it. He obviously was able to do it to Shahbazyan, but Shahbazyan almost gassed out after the first round. I don't think Strickland's going to do that. It is a 5-round fight, which is interesting. Sean Strickland has fought against people like Usman before, and he lost. But Usman is also really good at wrestling. But it didn't seem to faze him too much. Whenever he was taken down, he was able to get back up. And I do think that will be the theme here. If the fight takes place on the feet, we're going to see Sean Strickland probably win in that kind of exchanges that go on. In the last kind of 5 fights that Hermansson's had, he's lost to Vettori and Cannonier. Both these were against fighters that back you up, and that's kind of where he crumbles. Sean Strickland is going to be able to back him up, or he is going to be able to come with the pressure to back you up. The thing is, he's not as strong as these other fighters, just like strength-wise. He definitely is more of a puncher that kind of like hits you with a sting, and, you know, will do damage over time. This is going to be a really interesting fight. I see Sean Strickland being very favorable here. We're not going to put him in any parlays, but I would love to put him as a straight pick, so we would go for a straight pick in Sean Strickland. You could also throw a little bit on decision. I do think there's a high chance it's going to go the distance. Hermansson has a really strong chin and is durable. Even though he's been beaten by Vettori and Cannonier before, I don't think that's going to play into it too much. I think I see this going decision. But yeah, let's throw a straight bet on Strickland. If you have a little bit extra cash, we're going to throw a little bit on decision. The decision's coming in at plus 187. Who do we got next? We're going to run this back. I already talked about this one, but it's my first time doing this, so I want to try to get this right for you guys. We want this to be short and concise. Malcolm Gordon's going to be fighting Denis Bondar. Denis Bondar is making his UFC debut. He's from Ukraine. He likes to take people down. A lot of his wins have come from submission. The majority of them have. He's going up against Malcolm Gordon, who's just got his first UFC win, although he's been in the UFC for a little while, against Figueiredo's brother. He got a decision win, but a lot of his other fights do either finish in the first round or, you know, he kind of throws a lot out there. He will be looking to take him down too. But I think if we're going with this one, we're going to go with Bondar here. He is the favorite. I do think realistically he's going to win via stoppage. So if you can just bet the fight to end via submission realistically, but just by stoppage, we're going to go with Mr. Bondar here, the Psycho. It's going to be interesting to see how he does and how he progresses, but yeah, I'm really excited to see this fight play out. Okay, we have Danilo Marquez versus Jailton Almeida. This is another interesting fight. This comes on the second fight on the prelims. Danilo Marquez is coming off a loss to, I'll say right here, Kennedy Njokuani. If you watch that fight, he was actually winning it straight into the third round. He was dominating kind of a lot of the rounds. He was taking them down and holding them down there. They're both grapplers predominantly. And then he got caught in the third round. I think going into this fight, he's going to be a lot more switched on. He's a plus 300 underdog. I don't think that's right. That's really kind of undervaluing him quite a lot here. Almeida is coming off the Contender Series, where he landed a rear naked submission choke. Almeida here is coming off a win on the Contender Series where he took out Nasruddinov, nailed it, with a rear naked choke. He is a prospect. There's not a lot to know about him other than he's going to want to take it to the floor. Both these guys are jiu-jitsu guys. I think the value is so off here. So, to be honest, I would throw a little bit of money on Marquez here just to win via submission or decision. So I would just throw, it's plus 300 just for the straight bet. So I would just throw maybe a $10 or something like on him to win. There's a chance he does here. The value here is completely wrong. That would be my play for this fight. I should change my page. That might help. I feel like the more I drink the beer, the better I'm going to get. You're going to see me a lot more relaxed or drunk. She's lost 4 of her 5 last fights, Alexis Davis has, which isn't really the best. But her last fight against Pani Kianzad, that's her name. To be honest, there was a lot of talk afterwards saying that everyone thought that she won that fight. So, to be honest, for me, I can't really take that. I know it says a loss, but she's arguably on a 2-fight win streak. Stoliarenko is on a 2-fight losing streak. She is the underdog, and to be honest, it makes sense. She has 7 out of 9 wins via armbar. 7 out of 9 wins. 7 of her 9 wins are via armbar. I would love to see this armbar master, the Ronda Rousey of the division, the Lithuanian Ronda Rousey come out and armbar Alexis Davis, but she trains at the Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu facility. She is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. She shouldn't be getting caught with that. Then it goes to stand up on the feet. What's going to happen? They're going to strike. Alexis Davis has the advantage there. So really, all round, Alexis Davis should be winning this fight. It's a girls' fight. A lot of the time, it's going to end via decision. So for me, I'm going to bet Alexis Davis on decision. But there's a small chance of submission. We're not going to see a KO here. It's going to be interesting to see how this fight plays out. But bet is Alexis Davis decision. I need another drink. Let's move on. We have Jason Witt versus Phillip Rowe. There are so many fights in this card that are just so exciting, especially when you start doing the research, and that's what I'm excited about this channel. Probably not going to be the most knowledgeable guy, but when I look into it, I know how to pick, and it just lets me learn more and more about new fighters, and from that, I will be able to, make better picks, and here is a real interesting one. Phillip Rowe, the Fresh Prince, is coming off a win to Orion Kosuke, who is actually a wrestler, and is going to try to take you down. And he did try to take him down. He ended up gassing out after the first round, and Phillip Rowe, I believe, was able to knock him out in the second round. So he was able in the second round to start being able to keep his distance from a wrestler. I think the fight's going to go very similar. Jason Witt is going to try to take him down quite a lot. As far as we're concerned, Rowe has been able to prove that he can handle getting taken down and getting up and wrestling defense. Jason Witt is coming off a decision win to Barberena. But Barberena is a great fighter. He's not as strong as what he used to be, so I don't think that's like a massive tell. He's not going to be able to knock out Rowe. This fight, I see Rowe winning via TKO. You can tell I'm starting to drink too much. My hands are going all over the place, but hey, let's keep going. Rowe via stoppage. I don't even know what I just said. I don't know if I said decision, but yeah, Rowe via stoppage is the play. We're going to go for that. This is going to be a great fight. Make sure to check it out. Marc-Andre Barriault versus Chidi Njokuani. I'll be honest, I think I'm nailing the pronunciations today. I think I'm nailing them. This fight comes in at even odds. It's going to be a really interesting fight. Chidi, we're just going to call him that. Chidi Bang Bang, or Chidi Bang Bang. He's kickboxing. He's going to really be trying to use his like Muay Thai kind of style. He has crazy knees and elbows to watch out for, so that's going to be super exciting. But he's going up against a guy in Marc-Andre Barriault, who this matchup really suits him. This is going to be a fight where, if you've watched any of his fights before, he likes to back people up and come at you. Against a kickboxer, that's one of the best things you can do. We see what happened to Giga in the fight that just happened recently. So, because of that, like, this matchup is on his side. It's his fight to win. If we're doing that, I think we're gonna pick him via decision. It's a 3-round fight. A lot of these fights, people can definitely get knocked out, but I just see when it comes down to it, 3 rounds isn't a long time anymore. It doesn't feel like a long time. And people are becoming stronger and stronger. These guys have a lot to prove. The reach advantage is a big reach. What? Look at that. 7 inches. Lucky boy. I'm still going to stick with Andre Barriault. I think that he's going to win via decision here. But don't go heavy on a fight like this. We don't know. If we're going to pick, we're going to go for Barriault. We'll see how many we pick right to start our next week. But that will be our pick for this. This is a fight I am excited for. Woo! Okay, we have Hakeem Dawodu versus Mike Trizano. This is a super exciting fight. We have Hakeem Dawodu, who's from Calgary, which is 2 hours from where I live right now. So he is the man as far as I'm concerned. He comes in as the favorite. He's really good at kickboxing. He's a solid guy. If you watch any of his post-fight interviews, he doesn't smile. He is really critical on his performances, which is a good way to become better. But this is going to be an interesting fight. He's coming off a loss to Evliov. And if anyone knows who that is, he is, hyped up to be, one of the next prospects in the division. Although I'm sure this fight really comes down to being a technical kind of fight. At the end of the day, Hakeem Dawodu actually has a higher output than Mike Trizano. This is going to be a technical fight. It's going to be a really great fight. It's going to go decision. It has to. If you just think about like the style they're going to be fighting, they're going to be going 15 minutes trading. Trizano has really, really good kicks. Dawodu has got the higher output. And this is just going to be a really technical, interesting fight. At the end of it, we're going to see Dawodu win via decision. That is the pick. 100%. Has to happen. We believe in it. Great fight. Keep your eye on it. Let's get into the next one. I need like a choir stand, like one of those stands that I put in front of me so I can just like have my book and then I can like read to you guys as if like I'm singing a hymn. Okay. Let's look at it. So we have Miles Johns versus John Castaneda. I'm sure I'm nailing these pronunciations. The Sexy Mexi, as he may be known. I am so high on Miles Johns right now. He is a big favorite here, but minus 250 is still, there's value there. He, straight away, I'm just going to say he's going to win this fight. He has really, really crisp boxing. Good wrestling, but his boxing, he has improved on so much. And he comes out with heavy, heavy hands. He's going to be going up again, John Castaneda, who actually has not been knocked out in 8 years. So that's a long, long time. But I do believe Miles Johns can do that. Although I think more likely this is, again, going to be more of a technical fight. Johns is going to come out on top. Is it going to be KO? Is it going to be decision? That is the thing that we have to think of. I'm looking at my notes. I wrote Johns is a better all-round fighter. He is. I think wherever this goes, to the mat or standing up, he's going to win. He's been working so hard in his boxing. Castaneda is coming off a win to Eddie Wineland, I'm pretty sure. I mean, amazing. Like, look at his record. 18-5 against 12-1. He's experienced. He has it there. I think he's just coming up against a warrior in Miles Johns. I'm also realizing you probably can't see it in the camera, but I'm leaning my glass on my belly. I have such a beer belly that I'm able to use it as a coaster. Also, this is one other thing to say. This is probably one of the first times Miles Johns has come in and he's not really at a reach disadvantage, which is going to be interesting to see how much that actually helps him, where he isn't like having to make up space. But Miles Johns, we're going to go with, come on, let's lock it in. What are we going to go with? Coming off 2 KOs, but I think with John Castaneda, he's so durable. this is going to go to decision. We're going to go Miles Johns decision. Boom. Here we go. Another banger of a fight here. Julian Erosa versus Steven Peterson. Julian Erosa is such a big favorite here. To be honest, quite right. Again, it's kind of like some of the other fights on the card that we've already talked about. This matchup really suits Erosa a lot. Erosa likes to use his distance, and he has the reach advantage here. And he's going to be using that against Peterson. Going into this fight, I think it makes sense that he is a heavy favorite. That's why I believe we're probably going to play him in our parlay. Other than that, minus 300, there's not much value other than maybe going for him winning via... Oh, for a start, he had a win over Charles Jourdain, submission win, which no one actually thought was going to happen, which is pretty cool. I think via stoppage, to be honest. So yeah, we can go him via stoppage. If not, we're gonna throw him in a parlay anyway. I think he's like a really, really good pick here. Here we go. Let's top it up. Let's top it up. Ah. Oh. Injury in the workplace. Donald, get out of the way. Lovely. Back you go. If you guys ever get a chance to get this, make sure you do. And if you have any beer or any alcohol you want me to try for the next one, let me know. Next week we'll be back. We'll be drinking. Hopefully you're drinking along, enjoying. Let's see. Bryan Battle versus Tresean Gore. I mean, I probably don't even need my notes for this. I'm a big fan of this fight. This is the official championship, like, main fight for the Ultimate Fighter, which is so exciting. If anyone watched it this season, Tresean Gore unfortunately got injured when it was supposed to happen, and then Bryan Battle ended up fighting, I think it's Gilbert Urbina, yep, who Tresean Gore defeated to get into the final. Bryan Battle here is coming in as an underdog, and I do not see this at all. There is no way. If you look at the way he fights and his style, his cardio, his movement, his output, he can go to the mat, he can stand up, he's the bigger guy. Tresean Gore is 3-0. He has crazy fast hands when he throws, but he has a lower output. Really, really nice head kicks. It's head kicks that he throws, to be honest, but they're fast. They're fast and you don't see them coming. Bryan Battle is the pick here. There's no way that he should be an underdog here. It's just whether decision or stoppage. For a start, straight pick him. It's plus 125. I don't know what the odds are going to be. Him as the underdog. It's been moving wider, to be honest. But if he's being picked as an underdog, I don't see him losing this fight. Tresean Gore is unproven when he gets taken down to the mat. We don't really know what happens. We don't know what his cardio is like when he gets into third round. If I'm putting out a prediction now, I bet he's going to come in good shape, but I think he's going to gas out first before Bryan Battle will. I think he just has a good pace that he'll keep going at like a old car motor. So yeah, we're going to pick Bryan Battle. Let's go via stoppage, third round stoppage, but straight pick Battle, that is the move. Let me sort this quickly. I just realized I actually missed out another one of the most super exciting cards. We have the prospect Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Carlston or Harris. We're just going to go quickly into this one. Rakhmonov is a prospect. He's undefeated. A lot of people are calling him the Hamza of the division. I know Hamza's in the division, but he's not quite on the same level, but a lot of people are seeing him in the same eyes. He's coming off some really nice win to Michel Prazeres, who had never been finished before, I'm pretty sure. Going into this fight, it's going to be a really interesting matchup. Carlston Harris is really, really good, but the striking on the feet is going to go to Shavkat. When it comes down, it's just going to be a good kind of grappling match. Again, we're really high on Shavkat here. He's a minus 240 favorite. We could straight pick him, but we're going to add him into our parlays. That's what I have to say about this fight. Make sure to bet on it. Make sure to add him into your parlays. It's going to be a good one to watch. I think the more he wins from now, the more of a prospect he's going to seem. It's going to be really interesting to see kind of how things progress. He's going to be, he's going to just his favorite, how big a favorite he is going into fights is going to become bigger and bigger if he wins this. So yeah, make sure you don't sleep on this guy. Actually, co-main event? Are you kidding me? So, The reason I can't believe it because there's so many great fights on this card. This is a great fight, but for this to be the co-main event, I actually thought it was going to be Hakeem, Dawodu, and Mike Trizano was going to be the co-main event. But we have Nick Maximov, aka the Diaz brothers prodigy, or whatever you want to call it. He's probably close to getting his black belt. He has pretty good stand-up against Soriano, who's another really, really great fighter. He has a win over Jamie Pickett in his Contender Series bout, and he's coming off a loss to Brendan Allen. But a lot of his fights are really technical. He's a really, really good fighter, and he has heavy, heavy hands. He comes out and he throws bombs. He's so exciting to watch. If you look up his highlights on YouTube, he just throws with intent. He's ready to take you out. Nick Maximov, when he was on the Contender Series the first time, I don't know if a lot of people remember, he ended up, I think his opponent missed weight, and then the only other option that he took was he ended up fighting a heavyweight, or like a light heavyweight, but he ended up fighting this really fat guy, that every time he started going for the double legs, he just like lay on top of him, and it was like a bit of a struggle. I think he won the fight, I'm sure, but like he couldn't judge a lot on that at the time, and I'm sure Dana White actually at the time was like, yeah, we'll get him on the Ultimate Fighter. Didn't happen, but then he came back, and yeah, now he's in the UFC. He's looking really good all round. He comes in as an underdog, and for me, I'm just gonna throw a little bit on Nick Maximov. If he can survive Soriano in the first round and a half, this is his fight to win. I believe he can. I think he is well-rounded, and he's going to come in with a really good game plan. So we're going to pick Maximov here. I wouldn't go crazy on it. But yeah, maybe a little bit on Maximov. You may as well just, the value is there. It's going to be an exciting fight, to be honest. I don't see it going the distance, but I wouldn't start getting involved with that. You could bet on just fight not to go the distance, but let's go Maximov, straight pick. Oh. Wow, I guess I've been having so much fun. This is I've already talked about Sean Strickland and Jack Hermansson, so this is the end of the show. Okay, well, if this is the end of the show, I guess there's nothing else left to do. But lovely, man. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Any comments or anything that you guys want to add in. Next week we'll have a new kind of beer that we're going to be doing, or different type of alcohol. Donna Cerrone's going to be sticking around. We'll look at the fights that we did pick, and hopefully we'll get an interview. I'm kind of thinking we're going to have like a capper or a fighter come on, and he'll help us make one of the big picks for the week. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where this channel goes. Honestly, if you watched this far, you're a legend. Comment down Blueberry, so I know that you have watched this far, or skipped to the end, and we'll add in what the bets are again here, so you know what to bet with. There we go. We've been graced. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a great day. I'll see you next week for another card. Hopefully we can keep this consistent. I love you guys. This means a lot. Oh, and check out my on my channel, my artwork is bloody amazing. It's insane. Sean O'Malley knocking me out. See you guys next time.